Okay, to start out, I'm opening Illustrator. I'm going to close the one I have because I started, but I want to start over. So file new, or new file. And this time I want to do a 1080 by 1080 pixel. If you do web large, not a big deal. I just want to make sure that we kind of get on the same page. One thing I'm noticing is people doing the wrong thing here is you select pixels. Make sure pixels is selected. If you do picas or any other thing, it'll be a wrong size. 1080 by 1080 pixels. And I always put it to 150 pixels per inch. It'll always compress it when you go to save it for the web. So I'm going to click create. And I'm going to do this sort of background that I've been seeing a lot. I'm going to zoom out so we can get a better look at what I'm doing. First thing I do is I go to the rectangle tool and go down to polygon tool. Once I'm on polygon and I drag to make something, you'll see it's a triangle. But if I hit the up arrow, it turns into like a stop sign, different shapes based on sides. But I want a triangle, so I'm going to leave it at a triangle using the down arrow to get to the triangle. So now I'm going to squeeze it up like this, and I want it to be a little bit longer and thinner, and I want it to be a nice burst around a center point, and I kind of want the center point to be off a little bit. I'm going to put it over here. Then I'm going to change the color of this to something brighter. So let's try a bright orange. And now I take the selection tool, I click on this triangle. Whoops, I forgot to take the stroke away. Let me get the stroke on. Okay, stroke's gone. So I click on the triangle with the selection tool. Now I go to this tool called the rotate tool. I click on the rotate tool. And the first thing I have to do, my next click has to determine what it's going to rotate around. I want it to rotate around pretty much almost at the end here. So I click there. There's a little, aqua dot there that's going to look like that's your center point. So now I hold down the option key to copy this, and I just drag it a little bit like this. And I want to drag it about equal distance of what the other triangle is, so another triangle could fit in there if I wanted to. And I'm gonna let go. Now after this, I don't have to keep copying it. I can just do Command D, and it'll go around that spot. And I'm gonna go all the way around until I feel like, yep. And I think that last one is a bad one, so I'm gonna get rid of the last one. And now I'm gonna group all these. So I group it. And just to get rid of this gap over here, I could sit there and remeasure it out, but instead I'm just going to go and rotate it. Oops. Let me zoom back out. Command 0. And then I'm going to go Z and Option and click way out. From the middle here. Option. Okay. So this is essentially what I have. I'm going to just group it. So I'm going to highlight all of it, and it's already grouped. So now I want the burst to come from here. So now I'm going to take a square. So I go to the tool over here and get the rectangle tool again. I click once, 1080 by 1080. I'll do that again once, and I get 1080 by 1080, and click OK. And then I'm going to do what we did the other day, where we center to make it go right in the middle. Okay. Now I'm going to select everything. So I drag through everything like that. And then I'm going to go to this tool that we used the other day, and it is the shape builder tool. And then I'm going to hold the option key down, and I can just, with the option key down, I can just draw through these pieces on the outside, and it deletes them, but it doesn't delete what's inside. So now I can take this orange square and arrange, send it back, and I'm going to change the color to something lighter so you can see, or darker, so you can see what we've got. So we've got something like that. Usually it's done with two colors like that. And then they put the graphic in the front, but this is kind of the burst that shows in front. So second part of this is I want to make sure you understand other uses for it. A lot of times I'll teach people with a flower, so I'm going to use the ellipse. I'm going to draw a perfect circle with the shift key down like that. Now I'm going to take the direct select tool. I'm going to click on the very top anchor, and I'm going to hold the shift key down and do up arrow a couple of times so it's sort of a petal shape. Like that. And then I'm going to use the rotate tool again, and I'm going to put a dot right here to rotate around, and I'm going to hold the option, drag, and I'm going to move it like that. And then I do Command D to duplicate the last action until it goes all the way around. That's a pretty good flower. Now if I want to kind of see how that looks, I can bring down the opacity to see it kind of look like that. And then you might want to throw a circle in the middle. So I hold the shift key down, and I put it here in the middle. And this one I wouldn't want to be opaque. I mean, I would want it to be opaque, but I'm going to group it together. Command G. All right, so these are two things that the rotate tool does. We can create like things with patterns, things, or we can create a background like this that goes around. Now you want to be careful to group this now and make sure it doesn't fall apart on you. So now I have it as a background that I can use. Okay, and that's the challenge for today. Now when you turn it in, you can just have the flower up here like this and have this down here. Try to have it right in the middle. And File, Export, Export As. Then you're going to save it as a PNG is fine. Let's go bursts flower and change it under, save it under challenges. And then you'll be able to turn it in. It'll ask you this. That's fine if it is transparent. You can decide whether you maybe don't want it transparent because of the flower up here. You'd see through it. So I'm going to click OK. And that's what I'm going to turn in.